Aaron Hayes was not an ordinary traveler. He was one of the first humans allowed to step onto the peaceful alien world called Lunara. This planet was known in the galaxy for its calm cities, bright skies, and kind people. Many species visited Lunara for learning, trade, and peace missions. Humanity had come here to build friendship, and Aaron was part of that mission. He walked through the shining streets with slow, careful steps. Tall crystal towers stood around him like silent guards. Soft glowing plants lined the roads, and small floating lights moved above the walkways like gentle fireflies. Everything looked calm, almost magical, and Aaron could not stop himself from looking around like a curious child. The aliens of Lunara looked elegant and graceful. Their skin had soft colors. Their eyes were bright and thoughtful, and their movements were smooth, like flowing water. They welcomed humans kindly, but they were still careful. Trust was new. Friendship was new. Everyone wanted peace, but everyone also watched closely. Aaron was respectful and friendly to everyone he met. He smiled, greeted, and asked questions. He wanted to learn, not to judge. His calm voice and honest eyes made many aliens feel safe with him. Soon, word spread that this human was different. He was not loud, not rude, and not arrogant. He listened. Among the aliens who watched him, there was one woman named Leora. She stood at a distance the first time she saw him. She noticed his quiet nature, his patience, and the way he admired even small things like streetlights, buildings, and art walls. She saw a gentle strength in him. Something inside her whispered that this human might be important. Not important in rank or title, but important in spirit. Later that day, Aaron and his small human team visited a cultural hall. Inside were paintings, history images, and glowing records of Lunara's past. The hall had a peaceful silence, while Aaron observed a floating image of Lunara's early cities. He suddenly heard a soft voice behind him. "You look at our world with kind eyes," the voice said. Aaron turned and saw her for the first time. Leora stood calmly, her expression gentle. Her eyes were bright but calm, like someone who smiled often even when she did not move her lips. Her presence felt warm and peaceful. She bowed politely, and Aaron politely nodded back. "I just think your world is amazing," he replied. "It feels alive. It feels like every building has a story." She admired the way he spoke. Simple words, honest tone, no fake politeness. They began talking. At first, about small things. About Lunara's art. About human curiosity. About life on Earth and life on Lunara. Their conversation flowed easily. Aaron felt relaxed near her, and she also felt strangely comfortable near him. Time passed without them noticing. But while Leora smiled softly, a quiet storm of thoughts moved inside her mind. She was hiding something. Not something harmful to him physically. Not something cruel. But something big. Something dangerous if handled wrongly. She studied Aaron carefully as they talked. She tried to see if she could trust him. She noticed his kindness, but also his strength. He did not look like someone who would run away from truth. He looked like someone who would stand and face it. Finally, after some silence, Leora spoke again. "Aaron Hayes, would you like to visit my home?" she asked. The words sounded innocent. Her tone was soft and respectful. To anyone else, it would sound like a simple, friendly invitation from a polite host. But there was something quiet in her eyes. Something deeper. Something unsaid. Aaron hesitated for a moment. Not because he was afraid of her, but because he understood that visiting a personal home on another world was a very serious thing. It meant trust. It meant respect. It also meant stepping into something unknown. His team noticed as well. One of his human companions whispered to him softly, "Are you sure? We don't know much about her." Aaron looked at Leora again. She did not pressure him. She did not hurry him. She simply waited calmly, allowing him to choose freely. There was no sign of danger in her face. Only hope. Quiet hope. Yes, Aaron finally answered. I would be honored. A gentle smile touched her lips. Thank you, she said softly. I promise you will understand why I asked. They walked through the shining city together. Soft lights reflected on their path. Passing aliens looked at them with curiosity. A human and a Lunaran woman, walking side by side, was not something you saw every day. Some smiled. Some wondered. Some simply watched, silently. During the walk, Leora asked many questions about Earth. Aaron spoke about oceans, forests, cities, and the different kinds of humans with different dreams. She listened carefully, as if every detail mattered. At moments, she seemed emotional, almost touched by simple stories of human courage and kindness. But whenever Aaron asked too much about her personal life, she gently changed the subject. She was not ready to share everything, yet. Soon they reached a quieter part of the city. The buildings here were beautifully shaped and glowing softly like calm stars resting on the ground. Leora led him to a tall, elegant home built with crystal-like material and soft silver lines. It did not look dangerous. It looked peaceful, artistic, and welcoming. This is my home, she said. The door opened automatically with a gentle sound. Warm light filled the entrance. Aaron stepped inside. The air felt different here. Calm, but also heavy, with hidden meaning. Inside, everything was beautiful. Smooth structures, floating light orbs, walls that gently changed color like breathing light. It looked like a dream house, peaceful, safe, innocent. Or, it seemed that way at first. As they walked deeper inside, Aaron slowly noticed small, strange details. There were hidden panels on the walls that looked like they could open. There were marks on the floor like something heavy had been moved often. There were faint energy lines running under the crystal surfaces. This did not feel like a simple home. It felt prepared. Leora walked ahead calmly. Her steps were soft. Her expression remained kind, but her eyes carried a quiet determination now. She stopped in a wide room that looked like a peaceful sitting area. Please sit, she said gently. Aaron sat, but his mind remained alert. He trusted her kindness, but he also understood that something was happening here, something bigger than a simple friendly visit. He did not panic. He simply waited with patience and strength, ready to face whatever truth was coming. The door behind them closed silently. Locked. Aaron noticed. Leora knew he noticed. She turned slowly to face him. For a long moment, she said nothing. She simply looked at him with deep eyes, as if gathering courage. Her gentle hands tightened slightly. Her calm breathing became slower. I must tell you something important, she finally said. What I show you now may change how you see this world, and it may change your path. Aaron stayed calm. I will listen, he answered. At that moment, a quiet power filled the room. The lights changed. Hidden panels slowly opened. Strange, advanced devices revealed themselves one by one. This was not just a home. This was a secret place. Aaron understood one thing clearly. Leora was not just an innocent woman from a peaceful world, and whatever truth she was about to share, it was something that needed a human heart and a human kind of courage. Aaron's eyes scanned the room carefully. The soft crystal lights revealed panels that he had never seen in any human technology. Strange devices floated in midair, silently humming. Lines of energy ran across the floor like rivers of light. Aaron had seen advanced machines on Earth and in human space stations, but nothing like this. This was beyond imagination. Leora noticed his curiosity. She stepped closer, her voice calm and gentle. Aaron, this is my home. Yes, but it is also my work, my purpose. Aaron nodded slowly, his mind alert. Purpose? What do you mean? She took a deep breath and motioned for him to follow. They walked to a part of the room where a large glowing map appeared in midair. The map showed many planets, stars, and strange symbols that moved as if alive. This, she said, pointing to the map, is a record of the empire that rules over my people. Aaron stared at it, confused. Empire? What empire? Leora's eyes became serious. The people you see on Lunara, they live in peace now, but our world, and others, are controlled by a powerful alien empire. They control everything, from resources to decisions, from cities to leaders. Anyone who resists disappears. Aaron felt a shiver, but he remained calm. He was a trained explorer and diplomat. He had faced many unknowns before, but something in Leora's voice made him understand this was real. The quiet world he had admired so far was under control, under watch, under rules no one questioned. Why are you telling me this? Aaron asked, his voice steady. Leora looked at him, her eyes softening for a moment. Because humans are different. Your people are unpredictable, brave. You do not always follow the rules. And we need that. Aaron blinked. You mean, you want me to help? Yes, she said simply. But you must understand. It is dangerous. If the Empire discovers this place, if they discover me, many will suffer. That is why I invited you here. I sensed you could handle truth. I sensed you could act. Aaron's mind raced. He had visited many alien worlds, but never had he faced something like this. He looked at Leora, at her calm face, at her sincere eyes. She was not threatening. She was desperate, yes, but kind. She needed help, and she believed he could give it. What exactly do you need me to do? He asked. Leora moved to another panel and pressed it gently. A small device floated into view. It was shaped like a crystal orb, glowing faintly. Energy pulses ran through it slowly, almost like a heartbeat. This, she explained, is a device that can free my people. It can disrupt the Empire's control across planets. But it can only be activated by a human. Only someone like you can make it work. Aaron looked at the orb. It was beautiful, almost alive. But he understood immediately that it was dangerous. It was powerful, and it was needed. Why me? He asked again. Because humans, Leora said softly, have a strength no one else has. Not strength of arms, but strength of heart, courage, imagination, and the ability to act when others hesitate. Aaron swallowed. He was not a soldier, but he had learned to trust his instincts. And somehow, standing there, he felt the truth of her words. I will help, he said after a moment. Leora's face softened, and a small smile appeared. Thank you, Aaron. You do not know how much this means. For the next hours, Leora explained everything. She showed him records of the Empire's control. She showed him how they watched worlds, how they forced loyalty, how they removed anyone who resisted. Aaron listened carefully, asking questions, learning every detail. He noticed that she spoke honestly, without fear, without exaggeration. She was brave, and she was trusting him completely. As they talked, Aaron began to understand the depth of the situation. Lunara seemed peaceful. Yes, but it was peace under control. The Empire's soldiers were not here physically, yet their presence was everywhere. Every city, every system, every decision was watched. People were careful, polite, obedient. But they were not free. Leora led him to another room. This one was smaller, more private. Walls glowed faintly, and a soft blue light filled the space. In the center was a table with strange alien tools, maps, and small crystal containers. "This is where I prepare," she said. "Where I plan, where I fight quietly." Aaron looked around, fascinated. The room felt like a mixture of art, science, and strategy. Every object had a purpose. Every detail mattered. "Why are you risking so much?" he asked. Leora's eyes darkened slightly. "Because freedom is worth the risk. Because one day, someone must act. And because I believe that humans, you, can help us succeed where others cannot." Aaron nodded. He felt a deep respect for her. She was not just clever and skilled, she was brave, kind, and determined. And now, he realized, he had to match her courage. She noticed him thinking deeply. "I did not invite you here to scare you," she said softly. "I invited you because I believed you could make a difference. And now, you must choose. You can leave. You can return to your world. But if you stay, if you act, you will change many lives." Aaron paused. He looked at the orb again. He thought about the humans back on Earth, about explorers who had faced the unknown, about the stories of courage he had learned since he was young. And he made a decision. "I will stay," he said firmly. "I will help." Leora's face lit with relief and hope. "Thank you, Aaron. We have much to do." For the next few days, Aaron learned everything about the secret resistance. He trained with alien devices, learning how they worked. At first, it was difficult. The machines were unlike anything he had seen. But slowly, he began to understand. He noticed something amazing. Humans adapted in ways no other species could. Where others needed time, he improvised. Where others failed, he succeeded. Leora watched him, amazed by the human ability to think beyond rules. "You are remarkable," she said one evening as they reviewed maps. "I have trained many, but none like you." Aaron smiled, tired but proud. "Humans. We try." A quiet friendship grew between them. Not loud or dramatic, just trust, respect, and shared purpose. Leora showed him the beauty of her culture. Aaron shared stories of Earth. And yet, beneath the calm, the shadow of danger loomed. The Empire had sensors, watchers, and spies. They would notice unusual energy soon. The device, the orb, the plans they could not stay hidden forever. Aaron understood this. Leora understood this. Time was limited. One night, as they watched the city from a high crystal balcony, Aaron asked, "How long do we have before they notice?" Leora's face grew serious. "Not long. Days. Maybe hours. That is why we must prepare. That is why we must act carefully and act wisely. One mistake, and everything could be lost." Aaron felt a surge of determination. This was not just a mission. This was a chance to prove humanity's strength, humanity's courage, humanity's heart. He would not fail. And Leora, she had trusted a human. That trust alone was powerful. The night passed quietly, but both of them knew that soon, the quiet would end. Soon, the real challenge would begin. Aaron went to sleep that night with one thought. "I am not just a visitor. I am part of something bigger, and I will do whatever it takes to help these people, because freedom is worth it." The stars above Lunara shone brightly, as if encouraging him. The city slept, unaware of the storm approaching. And in the hidden home of Leora, a human and an alien woman prepared for the mission that could change their world forever. The morning sun on Lunara cast soft blue and silver light over the city. From his window, Aaron could see the glowing towers and the quiet streets below. Everything looked peaceful. But Aaron knew better. Peace was a mask, and behind it, danger waited. Leora entered the room quietly, holding a small device in her hands. "Good morning, Aaron," she said softly. "Today, we begin your training." Aaron sat up quickly. He had been ready for this moment ever since he decided to help her. "I'm ready," he said, determination in his voice. Leora smiled faintly. "I know. That is why I trusted you." They walked to a large training area behind her home. It was not a normal room. The walls glowed with moving symbols, and the floor projected holographic landscapes. There were floating panels, energy tools, and strange shapes Aaron had never seen. Leora called it the preparation room. "This is where my people practice," she explained. "We learn to move fast, think fast, and understand energy. These skills will be necessary to free our people." Aaron nodded. "I will learn whatever I can." Leora guided him to a floating device. "This machine will teach you coordination with energy fields. Humans are not used to this technology, but I believe you can adapt." Second, Aaron stepped onto the platform. As soon as he did, soft energy fields surrounded him. Lights moved, creating paths, obstacles, and shapes. His first attempt was awkward. He stumbled, nearly fell, and felt dizzy. "Focus," Leora said calmly. "Energy reacts to your intention. Clear your mind. Move with it, not against it." Aaron closed his eyes for a moment and breathed deeply. He remembered all the training he had received on Earth: balance, focus, awareness. Slowly, he extended his hands, and the energy fields adjusted to his movements. He moved forward, dodging, stepping, and guiding the light with precision. Leora watched silently, impressed. "You are learning fast," she said. "Humans have an ability to improvise that others lack. You see patterns, but also create solutions on the spot." For hours, they worked together. Aaron trained his reflexes, strength, and coordination. Leora taught him how to read energy fields, move without alerting sensors, and communicate silently. He fell many times, but each time, he rose stronger. During a break, Aaron looked out at the city below. "This place looks so calm," he said. "It does not feel dangerous at all." "This place," Leora shook her head. "That is the illusion the Empire wants. The city sleeps, the people obey, and no one notices the control. But every light, every device, every decision is watched. Our mission is to give them a chance to be free, to see the truth." Aaron understood. He felt the weight of responsibility. This was not a game or adventure. This was life and freedom and hope. In the next days, training became more difficult. Leora introduced him to advanced alien devices that could read thoughts, move objects, and create energy shields. Aaron had to learn how to use them carefully, because one wrong move could trigger alarms. One day, Leora took him to a simulation room. A large holographic projection appeared, showing a city under the Empire's control. Guards moved silently, and machines scanned every corner. "You must navigate this city," Leora explained. "Your goal is to reach the control hub without being detected. Use what you have learned." Everyone. Aaron focused. He moved through the holographic streets, hiding, ducking, and reading the energy patterns. At first, he struggled, but then he began to understand. His human creativity allowed him to see paths no one else would. He avoided detection at every turn. When he completed the simulation, Leora's eyes shone with respect. "You are ready," she said. "Not completely, but ready to take the first step toward action." Training was not only physical. Leora taught him the history of her people, the sacrifices made by those who resisted, and the courage it took to act alone. Aaron listened carefully. Every story inspired him. Every challenge reminded him why he had chosen to help. One evening, As they rested in the quiet room, Aaron asked, "Have many humans ever come here before?" Leora shook her head. "No one like you. They come as visitors, diplomats, observers. But none have the heart, the courage, and the mind to act in a way that could change everything. That is why I trusted you." Aaron felt a mixture of pride and responsibility. He was not seeking recognition. He only wanted to help. But he could not deny the truth. His presence here mattered more than he had realized. The following days, Leora increased the difficulty of training. They practiced stealth movements, energy control, and quick problem solving. Aaron learned to read alien devices, to feel their pulses, and to move in harmony with them. At first, the training was exhausting. His muscles ached, his mind tired, and mistakes frustrated him. But Aaron had something that no machine could give: persistence. He refused to give up. He remembered the stories of humans on Earth, explorers, pioneers, leaders, people who faced impossible odds and kept going. By the end of the week, Aaron was moving with precision. He could dodge energy fields, activate devices without mistakes, and navigate simulations perfectly. Leora observed him with growing admiration. "You have learned faster than I expected," she said. "Humans are truly remarkable." Aaron smiled. "I just follow what I am taught, and I want to succeed." But the training was not only about skill. Leora tested his decision-making, teaching him to think under pressure. One simulation showed two groups in danger. He had to choose whom to save first. Every choice had consequences. Aaron realized the lesson. Success was not about speed or strength alone. It was about wisdom, courage, and heart. Humans had an ability to make choices others could not. That was their true power. One day, Leora handed him the glowing orb, the same device that could disrupt the Empire's control. "This is the most important part," she said. "It is powerful, it is delicate, and only you can activate it properly." Aaron held it carefully. Energy pulsed through his hands, warm and alive. He felt responsibility like never before. He had trained for this moment. And he knew failure was not an option. "You will succeed," Leora said, her voice firm but kind, "because you are human. And humans do not give up when hope is small. Humans fight when others hesitate." Aaron nodded, feeling a surge of determination. "I will not fail," he said. "I will do whatever it takes to help your people." As the days passed, Aaron and Leora trained together tirelessly. But outside, the Empire's sensors were detecting unusual energy activity. Patrols increased in nearby regions. Time was running out. Aaron felt the tension, but he did not panic. He focused on what he could control: training, learning, preparing. Leora did the same. Together, they became a team, human and alien, united by purpose and trust. By the end of the week, Aaron had mastered the technology. He could move silently, read energy flows, and handle the orb safely. But more importantly, he had learned what it meant to trust and lead. Leora had shown him courage, and he had shown her the human ability to act decisively. One night, as they looked out over the glowing city, Leora said softly, "Soon, Aaron. We will begin. The time is near. Are you ready?" Aaron looked at the stars above Lunara, shining like distant fires. He felt the weight of responsibility, but also hope. "Yes," he said. "I am ready." Leora smiled, a mixture of pride and relief in her eyes. "Then, tomorrow, we take the first step, and the Empire will learn that humans are not to be underestimated." Aaron felt a surge of pride. Humanity had always been underestimated. But here, on another world, among strange and powerful beings, he would prove what humans could do. Not with weapons alone, not with strength alone, but with courage, determination, and heart. The night passed quietly, but both knew that when the sun rose, their lives, and the lives of many others, would change forever. And for the first time, Aaron felt that the mission was bigger than him. It was about hope, freedom, and proving that humanity, even on a distant planet, could stand tall. The first light of dawn touched the city of Lunara, painting the crystal towers in soft shades of blue and silver. Aaron stood beside Leora on the balcony of her home. Below, the city appeared calm, peaceful, and unaware of the storm approaching. But Aaron knew better. The Empire's sensors had already noticed unusual energy activity. Leora turned to him, her eyes serious. "Today, Aaron, we begin the mission. Everything we have trained for every skill, every lesson, must be used now. The Empire is watching, and one mistake could cost us everything." Aaron nodded. He felt a mix of excitement, determination, and tension. "I'm ready," he said firmly. "Let's do this." They began by moving through secret tunnels that ran beneath the city. These tunnels were old, hidden pathways once used by Lunara's people before the Empire's control. The walls glowed faintly, guiding their path with soft energy lines. Every step was quiet, careful, and calculated. Leora paused at a junction, her hand hovering over a glowing panel. "Sensors are near," she whispered. "We must go slowly. One wrong move, and alarms will trigger." Aaron held his breath. Every instinct told him to move fast, but he remembered his training. Calm, precise movements were stronger than reckless speed. Together, they advanced, weaving through the tunnels with perfect timing. After some time, they reached a hidden elevator that led to the outskirts of the city. The walls shimmered and then disappeared, revealing a sky full of soft, floating lights. Above, massive Empire ships glided silently, scanning the city with invisible energy beams. Aaron felt a chill. The Empire was close. But he also felt a surge of confidence. They had trained for this. They were ready. Leora activated a small device that projected a shield around them, making their presence almost invisible to the Empire's sensors. They floated above the city silently, moving toward the central control core, the heart of the Empire's operations in Lunara. "The core controls everything," Leora explained in a low voice. "If we reach it and activate the orb, the Empire will lose control. Citizens will be free, but the path is heavily guarded." Aaron studied the floating city below. Machines patrolled the streets. Drones scanned the air, and glowing barriers blocked strategic entrances. But he noticed patterns, slight pauses, repeated paths, and moments when sensors shifted. Using his human instincts and training, he identified the safest route. They descended onto a quiet rooftop, hidden from view. Aaron adjusted the orb in his hands. It pulsed softly, like a living heartbeat. He felt its energy responding to his focus. He remembered Leora's words. Humans were unique, because they could act decisively, even when danger was present. Step by step, they moved through the city. They avoided patrols, slipped past energy barriers, and used the shadows to hide. Aaron's human creativity proved invaluable. Where alien patterns seemed rigid, he found gaps, openings, and opportunities. At one point, they came across a small patrol of Empire drones. Their glowing eyes scanned every rooftop. Leora tensed. "We must wait," she whispered. Aaron studied the drones. He noticed a timing pattern. Each drone paused for a fraction of a second before moving. He whispered instructions to Leora, and together, they slipped past the patrol without detection. "Impressive," Leora said softly, her eyes reflecting pride and relief. Aaron smiled quietly. "Humans, Adapt quickly. Hours passed as they navigated through the city. Finally, they reached the perimeter of the Central Control Core, a massive structure of glowing metal and crystal. Energy beams shot upward, connecting the building to the Empire ships in the sky. This was the heart of the Empire's power. "We're close," Leora whispered. "But the final defense is strong. We must be careful." But inside, the corridors were dark and humming with energy. Floating sensors moved silently, scanning every corner. Aaron felt the tension rise, but he remained calm. He had trained for this moment. Every skill he learned now mattered. They reached a large room where the core's main panel hovered in midair, surrounded by energy fields. The room glowed with a soft blue light, but Aaron could feel the immense power radiating from it. "This is it," Leora said. "Place the orb here and focus. You must guide the energy through the device." Aaron stepped forward carefully, placing the orb onto the central panel. It pulsed brighter, responding to his presence. He took a deep breath and focused, remembering every lesson, every moment of training. Energy flowed through him, through the orb, and into the core. A soft hum filled the room, growing louder, stronger. Lights flashed as energy spread through the building. The Empire's control systems began to weaken. Below, the city lights shifted, the barriers flickered, and drones paused as if confused. Leora watched with wide eyes. "It's working," she exclaimed quietly. But alarms suddenly blared. Red lights flashed as elite Empire guards rushed toward the core. Aaron felt the pressure rise. He could not let fear control him. He focused, guiding the energy with precision, keeping the orb stable. The energy pulse grew stronger, spreading beyond the building, reaching the city. Citizens stopped what they were doing, sensing a change they could not fully understand. For the first time, freedom touched their hearts. Aaron and Leora moved quickly. Guards entered the room, but the humans' training allowed them to dodge and navigate the chaos. Aaron used quick thinking, manipulating the energy fields to block sensors temporarily. Leora followed, using her knowledge to guide them through hidden passages. The orb reached full power. A wave of energy surged across the city, disabling the Empire's control systems. Machines paused, drones fell silent, and the glowing barriers disappeared. The people of Lunara looked around in wonder, feeling freedom for the first time. Aaron smiled, exhausted but determined. "We did it," he said. Leora nodded, her eyes shining. "Yes, but we must leave now. The Empire will not accept this easily." They navigated through the corridors, avoiding guards who were confused by the sudden shutdown. Every step was tense, every moment critical. Outside, the Empire ships began to react, energy beams preparing to strike. But Aaron's actions had given them a head start. Together, they reached the secret tunnels leading out of the city. Aaron paused to look back at the glowing towers, now free from the Empire's control. Citizens looked up in awe, realizing they had been given a chance to live without fear. "We have changed their world," Aaron said quietly, feeling the weight of the moment. Leora smiled softly. "And it was your courage that made it possible." They moved quickly through the tunnels, emerging into the quiet outskirts of the city. The sun was rising higher now, casting light over the freed city. The Empire ships hovered above, but they could not interfere yet. Aaron had done what no one thought possible. A human had changed the course of an alien world. For a moment, Aaron allowed himself to feel pride. Humanity had shown its strength, its courage, its unique ability to act when needed. But he knew the mission was not over. The Empire would not surrender easily. They would come back stronger, smarter, and more determined. Leora turned to him. "We have achieved something incredible today, Aaron. But the fight for freedom is only beginning. The people will need guidance, protection, and hope. And we must be ready for what comes next. Aaron nodded, his heart steady. We are ready, he said. Humans never give up, and neither will we. As the sun rose over Lunara, the city below began to awaken in a new way. Citizens moved freely, machines operated without restriction, and the energy of hope filled the streets. Aaron and Leora stood together, looking out over the city, united in purpose and spirit. The dangerous mission had succeeded, but the real challenge, the fight for lasting freedom, was only beginning. And Aaron knew one thing clearly: humanity, even on a distant alien world, could inspire change, courage, and hope like no other species. The city of Lunara glowed under the morning sun, crystal towers sparkling like jewels in the sky. For the first time in decades, the streets were free from the Empire's control. Citizens moved with cautious excitement, realizing they could breathe, speak, and act without fear. Yet, above them, the Empire's ships still hovered, dark and imposing, their shadows stretching over the city. Aaron and Leora stood together on a high balcony of her home, looking down at the world they had helped to free. The orb, the device that had disrupted the Empire's control, still pulsed softly in its containment field, a reminder of the power they had wielded and the risk they had taken. It worked, Aaron said quietly, awe in his voice. The city, it's alive, free. Leora nodded, but her expression was serious. Yes, it worked. But this is only the beginning. The Empire will not surrender so easily. They may retreat for now, but they will come back. We must be ready. Aaron's eyes narrowed, determination settling deep in his chest. Humanity had faced danger countless times. On Earth, humans had survived storms, conflicts, and challenges that seemed impossible. Now, far from home, on a distant world, he would prove the same truth again. Humans never give up. They descended from the balcony into the streets. The people of Lunara were beginning to gather, curiosity and hope shining in their eyes. They had been given freedom, but they did not yet understand its full meaning. Aaron and Leora knew they needed leadership, guidance, and courage. Leora stepped forward and addressed the crowd in her soft, clear voice. Citizens of Lunara, you are free. The Empire's control has been broken. Today, we begin a new era, a time where you decide your own path, your own future. The citizens looked around, astonished, and then slowly, their faces began to show joy, relief, and gratitude. Some whispered to each other. Some cried quietly. The city felt alive for the first time in decades, and hope spread like sunlight across the streets. Aaron moved among them, noticing small details, the wide eyes of a child seeing flying lights without fear, the subtle smile of a shopkeeper who could finally decide for themselves, the elderly citizen standing tall with pride. Humanity, he thought, had inspired this courage. One human, he and his species' spirit, had shown them a path to freedom. But the moment of joy was not without tension. In the distance, the Empire's ships stirred. Their energy beams searched the city, looking for the source of the disruption. Their soldiers had begun to mobilize, preparing to retake control. Aaron turned to Leora. We cannot let them take this away. We need a plan to protect the city and its people. Leora nodded, her mind racing. We must use the orb's energy strategically. If we place it in the city's central hub, it can shield us temporarily and give the citizens time to organize. But we must be careful. One mistake. Aaron understood without words. Their training, their preparation, and every step they had taken until now led to this moment. Every skill mattered. Every choice mattered. They moved quickly toward the central hub, carrying the orb. Aaron felt its pulse through his hands, strong and steady, as if alive. It seemed to recognize him, responding to his focus and willpower. He guided it carefully, while Leora monitored the city's energy flows. As they reached the hub, the Empire's elite soldiers descended from their ships. They were fast, precise, and powerful. But they underestimated the human spirit. Aaron remembered the lessons he had learned. Courage, adaptability, and heart could overcome even the most formidable opponents. He activated the orb. Energy flowed outward, forming protective shields around the city. The soldiers and drones were repelled, unable to penetrate the force field. Citizens cheered, feeling the strength and safety of the human-led energy. But Aaron did not stop there. He moved with quick thinking, directing energy to key points where the Empire's machines tried to breach defenses. His decisions were fast, precise, and intuitive. No alien could have acted this way, not with such creativity, flexibility, and courage. Leora watched him, awe shining in her eyes. "Humans are truly remarkable," she whispered. "Your courage, your adaptability, it is unlike anything I have seen." Aaron felt pride, but he focused on the task. The city depended on them. Freedom depended on them. He could not falter. Slowly, the Empire's forces began to retreat. Their systems were disrupted, their coordination broken, and their confidence shaken. Aaron had shown them that one determined human could alter the balance of power. They would not forget it. The city of Lunara celebrated cautiously, still aware of danger but grateful for the chance to live freely. Citizens came forward to thank Aaron, their voices filled with emotion. They did not speak of him as a stranger. They spoke of him as a hero, someone who had risked everything for their future. Leora placed her hand on his shoulder. "You have done more than I imagined. Today, humanity has proven that courage and heart can inspire even the most controlled world." Aaron smiled, humbled by her words. "I only did what any human would do," he said. "But it seems we humans can surprise even ourselves." The citizens began to organize themselves, inspired by the human and alien alliance. They rebuilt barriers, freed trapped areas, and prepared for future threats. Aaron guided them gently, showing leadership with humility, patience, and respect. By evening, the city glowed under the sunset. The Empire's ships had withdrawn beyond the horizon. For now, peace, fragile but real, settled over Lunara. Citizens walked freely, smiled openly, and began to dream again. Aaron and Leora stood together on a high tower, looking over the glowing city. "We have done it," Leora said softly. "The Empire will come again. But we are ready. And now, your people, humanity, have a place in this world's story." Aaron's gaze drifted to the horizon. "We have shown them that courage, heart, and determination matter more than machines, power, or fear. Humans have a way of standing tall, no matter the odds." Leora nodded, smiling warmly. "Yes, and because of that, Lunara will thrive. Freedom will grow. Hope will spread." For the first time, Aaron felt a deep peace. He had come as an explorer, but he had left a mark on another world. Humanity, far from home, had inspired courage, unity, and hope. That night, as stars twinkled above Lunara, citizens gathered in the streets to celebrate. Music filled the air. Laughter echoed through the towers, and light reflected off the crystal buildings in a dazzling display. Aaron watched, smiling quietly. He realized that heroism was not about strength alone. It was about courage, heart, and the ability to act when others hesitated. Humanity, he thought, had proven it again. Leora turned to him. "Thank you, Aaron, for everything." He shook his head. "No, we did this together. Humans and Lunaran people. And this is only the beginning. Freedom is something we must protect every day." As the city celebrated below, Aaron felt hope fill his chest. Humanity had stood tall. Humanity had inspired courage and change. And humanity had earned its place among the stars not through force, but through heart, bravery, and unwavering spirit. The night passed quietly. But the story of that day would be remembered forever. Citizens of Lunara, inspired by a human's courage, would tell tales of freedom, hope, and determination. And somewhere in the galaxy, humans would continue to explore, protect, and inspire, proving time and again that even in the face of impossible odds, humans could stand tall, and humanity was truly remarkable. Aaron looked at the stars, feeling the vastness of the universe and the promise of countless adventures yet to come. He knew that wherever humans went, their courage would shine, bringing hope to worlds that had never seen it. And for the first time in a long while, he felt that humanity had truly made a difference. Freedom, hope, and courage had been restored. Humanity had stood tall, and the galaxy had noticed.